Good evening and welcome to the Performance streaming broadcast of round 22 of the ANZCAR Cup for 2022. This week sees us at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the road course. 35 laps. Flying solo tonight and also got a pretty gnarly head cold as well. So it's going to be a really interesting one. There might be moments where I'm pretty quiet, where I mute the microphone and cough and splutter or blow my nose. But we'll just see what we can do and just try and get some coverage in on the race and see how it goes. Um, so, as I said, it was round 22 of 36, and leading the points so far for the season. If we chuck them back up here again, we can see Andrew Dyson's leading the points there from Neil Pearson, Jason Martin in third, Josh McLemore and Brenton Hobson make up the top five. And I'll just leave that out there for you to sort of run through. You can see the cars all marked, or the names all marked in yellow, are the ones that are going to be locked into the chase, and that will start after race 26. So, yeah, still plenty to play for. Look here on the edge there of trying to get into the top 10, and then down the bottom as well, wanting to the battle between Schultz, Nankervis and Clark for the top 20 position at the end of the year, which is all important because the top 20 lock themselves in for the Daytona 500 at the start of the next season. But let's have a little look here. So we are at Indianapolis and the road course, which is a fresh scan, which was released earlier this week, I believe, or maybe late last week. But we originally this week we were supposed to be at Michigan, but we decided to change it to Indy, to run Michigan last week and then run Indy this week, so we could take advantage of the fresh scan of the track that we knew that was coming. So this is our first run on that. A few little changes in it, which we'll see as the action goes on. And we'll have a little look through the weather conditions. Sometimes 2:39 in the afternoon. We've got a bit of a southerly there, 70 kilometers an hour wind, temperature 26, partly cloudy conditions, and track temperature is 44 degrees Celsius. So pretty warm track. Interesting to see if that is going to get hotter or not. Now with these cars, we've seen so far on the road courses at Sonoma and Road America that the tyres don't fall off. So I would imagine that we're going to see pit stops done with no tyre changes. And the race distance, I believe, is going to be 35 laps. And fuel mileage is, from what I've heard, is roughly around about 33 laps on a tank. So we might see some people fuel save from the outset to try and see if they can make it actually home without taking a pit stop. As I say, with the way the car's been recently, the tyres shouldn't be an issue. They shouldn't need it. Even if they do need to pit, they'll just grab a splash, I'm sure. And as they're starting to line up now, let's run through our start grid and let's just see if it's going to behave itself and load everything. Yeah, cool. So Philip Worley, I think his second race back after a break, is taking pole position, and beside him is Brenton Hobson. Second row will be Pearson and Dyson, so 3 out of the top 4 cars, all DPR cars, very strong on the road courses. Row 3 will be Jack Maloney and Michael Skillock. Jack Maloney, of course, a noted road course racer. Row 4 will be Daniel Hedeshire and Dave Douglas. Row 5 will be Edward Foster and Barry Neal. Row 6, Darren Lobb, Reuben Phelps. Row 7 is Gary Wellman and Stephen Williams. Row 8 is Kay Donnelly and Jason Martin. Row 9 will be Jamie Nankervis and Matthew Raymond. Tristan Koch and Justin Witcher make up row 10. Josh McLemore and Luke Jahir make up row 11. Norman Clark, Riley Curtis on row 12. Riley Curtis back after a 2-month or more break. Good to see him back out there. Paul Jackson and Mirko Dortnak running off row 13. And Noddy Tompkins, the single car, running off at number 14. So as they just start to line up now and get ready to go. Of course, this is the new with the new scan. There's these two extra really slow corners here instead of just flying around onto the oval track. But we're going to see them come around here now, and Wally in the purple car will look to put his foot down and get them going. And we're off. And turn one's going to be really interesting here. Who's going to go too deep? Who's going to overshoot the corner? Oh, there's a bit of checking up there. Getting through pretty cleanly as we just sort of look through the back of the field. They've all done a really good job of getting through there nice and clean. Jump back up here. Top three's kind of already settled in a bit there, with Wally in first, Hobson in second, and Pearson in third. Sorry, that'll be Dyson in third. This big long straight on the back here. It should be another interesting corner to see if people sort of overshoot. Lock up the brakes, run off that corner, but Wally's doing a good job at the moment clearing out in the front. Just jump back the pack here. These tight, twisty corners, they're doing drivers are doing a pretty good job at negotiating them so far. I don't think we've had too many issues, although Daniel Hedeshot has dropped down a bit, so he may have had a bit of an issue. As we just see here, Jack Maloney putting the pressure on Andrew Dyson. The third spot as they come out onto the front straight. Getting the benefit of the draft coming down here, hoping to use it in turn two into turn one. And he's got the inside move there. Dyson doesn't put up too much of a fight. It's pretty early in the race to be fighting for position there. Nah, Lockie, we're getting you on the booth. You're not racing. We're going to get you back in here doing commentary, Lachlan. But yes, yep, that's right. Next week we'll be at Richmond, which Lachlan, who has been is watching on Facebook, has been overseas. He's looking at getting back into the action next week. Cars are all pretty spread out at the moment. There's a good battle going on here between Foster and Douglas. This is Foster. Douglas is in 7th and Foster is in 8th. Just having a look from my timing data just to see any sort of close battles through the field. I might just keep an eye on that Douglas and Foster. There as Michael Skillock's sort of half spun off the corner there. He's collected it and got going, but he'll drop a couple of spots in the process, and he will lose momentum onto that front straight, so he may be under attack. But we'll just keep an eye on Foster here and see if he can get the pass done on Douglas. Looks like he's got it there. I think Dave's sort of just rolled out of the throttle a little bit early there just to give him, make it a bit easier. Although Foster has locked up his tyres there and gone through there. Oh, that's not great. Oh, that's very unfortunate driving. And Dave will be dropping like a stone, I would say, from that. As he's just trying to get off the grass and trying to get going. That's very unfortunate. Dave has dropped down to 19th there. I'm sure Edward will be apologising over the radio for that one, if that was his fault. See if Dave can drive it back up from 19th and get back into the top 10. I'll just chuck up a bit more information to see how far everyone's back. You can see the gap out the front is huge. Like the top 3 cars have sort of cleared out there. Now it could be that these drivers are definitely going to do a splash of fuel. Um, and maybe from Dyson and Pearson back, they could be looking at trying to get it through without making a pit stop. As we see Maloney have a look on the inside there of Hobson. Didn't have the run there or the overlap to do it. So Maloney's all over the back of Hobson there. Just adjusting some cameras there, make sure they're good. So we've got that battle for the top three going on there. Well, that's nice and loud. Curb cam. And just back a bit after that, we have Foster's made his way up to 5th place. He's managed to get past Pearson there. And Skurlock has got back up to speed and he's looking to pass Pearson in 6th there as well. And not much fight for position with these guys here, which makes me really wonder about this one stop or no stop strategy. As I say, the word that I heard, up in the background we can see a couple cars spinning. Let's see if we can grab that. There's a bit of an incident there. Let's see what happened there. We'll jump into a replay of that one and see. Just go back and see what happened there. Between, I believe it was Matthew Raymond and Josh Micklemore. Nothing. No, it didn't look like it wanted to load properly. Never mind. Couldn't find that, but it was in the background. So where was I saying? I believe, yeah. So I believe if you go full noise, you're going to get about 33 laps on a tank of fuel. Race distance is 35, so you might be, with the warm-up lap, you might be looking to try and save yourself 2 to 3 laps of fuel, and then you can get it home without having to pit. These tyres, for some reason, don't go off, so yeah, it could be just an out-and-out fuel-saving race from the start of the race. Just checking back in on Dave Douglas there. He's up to 13th spot now. 23 seconds off the lead. I think Barry is pretty good at saving fuel, so I think Barry Neal might be dropping down the order a little bit as he's just trying to save. Trying to see if he can make that one-stop strategy work. You see Dave Douglas is just making the pass? Where has Stephen Williams gone? Oh, Stephen Williams has spun. Let's see if we can find out what's happened there. Oh, he's got the grass. Oh, and unfortunately Dave's just in the wrong place, wrong time again. Yeah, We just slow that down a little bit. We just zoom in here. We can just see that Stephen Williams in the green car. He's just got the grass there over the curb, and that's just sent the car spinning, unfortunately. And the sudden lost momentum has just caught Dave Douglas out there, and he's unfortunately given him a tap. And Luke here has spun as well. So let's just see if we can find out what's happened to Luke as well. Oh, and Luke's done the same thing. He's just gone over the curbs, clipped the grass, and that's just been enough for him to spin out there on his own. Believe it or not, that was a deliberate driving on the grass was something that was being done on Spa on the weekend to cool tyres, which is a weird exploit, but doesn't seem like it would work here. Josh Mickelmore in the foreground there, looks like he's had another bit of an issue, like a big lock-up or something, so let's see if we can have a look and see. And Josh has locked it up there. Oh, he's massively overshot that corner. I wonder if that's a hangover from the old track, because with the old track, you used to go full noise through here. You didn't have this right-hand corner. You just went on the oval, and it happens to me sometimes. You just get stuck into the old track habit, and you think you just go straight there, and then you forget that there's actually a corner. I wonder if that's been what's happened there for Josh, but he's sitting there. He's recovered it now. He's in 14th spot. Jump back up the front here as Maloney has made his way up to first place. No, that's right. Josh is not having a good night so far. Wally's doing a good job, just running there in a solid second spot at the moment. He is holding off Hobson at the moment. Oh, as we see, I believe it was Hobson there, might have had a bit of a lock-up and run off there. Yeah, I think he did. Let's just see if we can jump back and have a look at that and see what happened there. Seen a lot of brake lock-ups tonight, which we didn't really see quite so many of at Road America or Sonoma. This is just the replay here. We will see brake lock-up, I think. No, didn't see it. Oh, it's in this through this bit here. Or not. No. Okay. Go back to live instead. As we're now 10 laps down out of 35. So far we've got one car that's done a pit. Riley Curtis has had pitted. He's just come out, or it's just coming into the pits now. Ruben Phillips has pitted as well, but he's showing 3 laps down. He may have had a bit of damage, not too sure. I think Ruben's struggling with the track and car combo tonight as well, unfortunately. As you see Riley Curtis in the pits there. Sitting in the pits there with him is Tristan Koch and Noddy Tompkins. Riley's been in there a long time stationary, so he may be serving a penalty of some kind, or he may have damage to his car. Alright, there he goes. But his pit stop was 43 seconds, so yeah, he may have... Okay, so my data's finally sort of got up to date. I believe Riley's come in for a 1 pit stop, and he might have sped on the way in or the way out, or most likely the way out. And then he's had to come back in and do a sit and hold penalty, I believe, because he is showing as having done 2 pit stops. So Jamie Nankervis in the number 8, sitting in 20th spot at the moment. He has pitted once. His stationary time was half a second, so he might have been someone who's come in and grabbed the splash of fuel and might definitely be able to make it home now. And Daniel Hirschite sitting in 19th position currently. He has done a pit stop as well 3 laps ago, and he was stationary for 5.8 seconds. So that would indicate that he stationary got a top up of fuel only, and he'd be good to go to the end of the race now. So it'd be interesting to see if anybody else is going to do the splash or not, because Daniel has done his splash early on lap 8. So he should, with these tyres, perhaps get quicker near the end as the fuel burns off. But it also means that he can go full noise now. He doesn't have to worry about any fuel conserving at all. Of course, you're not going to get any cautions on road courses with this racing to save fuel, so you have to do it all on green flag. And Daniel having the knowledge that he can make it to the end on fuel regardless now, and that he can just go full noise, will certainly give him a bit of an advantage. Dave Douglas is in the grass again, unfortunately. Just having a little bit of look for battles through the field. We've got Skurlock in the 350, looking to make the pass or catch up on Foster in the 53 in 5th spot. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Lockie, I think he was because he got that early issue that it did kind of put him into a box where he had to sort of roll the dice a bit. He's got nothing to lose, so why not come in, grab your splash, and then go full noise to the end. As Foster has been able to open up a bit of a gap again to Skurlock there, just a little bit of breathing room. And saying that's only half a second. There's another close battle going on behind them with Darren Lobb in the 99 car, catching Pearson in the 9 car. Go back to the Foster and Skurlock battle. Yeah, they always do. Skurlock and Foster always do tend to end up on the same piece of track in the races. So we'll just do a little bit of a recap from the front. Drop that down. So we've got Jake Maloney currently sitting in first spot. He started fifth, but he's now led 8 laps in total. He's opened up a 5.6 second lead over Worley, who started in pole position, but was currently running second. Hobson in third. New Dyson in fourth. Ed Foster started in ninth and currently fifth, so he's up 4 positions. And Michael Skurlock behind him started sixth and is currently sixth. Neil Pearson in seventh. Darren Lobb in eighth. Good run for Darren. Started 11th up to 8th now. There's Cade Donnelly. He started 15th and is currently 9th. Barry Neal started 10th, is currently 10th. Jason Martin started 16th and up to 11th. Gary Wellman behind him. A few lap cars in between there. Luke Jahir. Josh Micklemore started 21st, up to 14th after all his struggles. He's done pretty well. He's up 7 so far. Matthew Raymond, 3 spots. Norman Clark, 23rd up to 16th. It's a good run for Norman so far. Here's the first car that's made a pit stop. It is Daniel Headshot. He started 7th. He's now up to 17th. Sorry, back to 17th. Stephen Williams. Paul Jackson just solidly making his way through. Another solid run for Paul. Dave has dropped 12 spots since I started 8th, now 20th. No data showing for Jamie Curvis. That's unfortunate. And then Riley Curtis started 24th, running 22nd. And from there, we're sort of seeing the data drop out. That's okay. Back up the front, Maloney really he's dropping the hammer now. He has cleared out to a 7.5 second lead. So I think Maloney is probably going to be one that might need to come in for a splash of fuel. And Worley's sitting there in second, 7.5 seconds back so far. So you see Dave Douglas making a pass on Paul Jackson there in the background. It was for 19th position. So at this stage, most of the field is spread out. At least a couple of seconds between cars. Probably the closest battle on track is this Foster Skurlock one, which seems like it's been going on for quite a while now. And it'll probably go on to the end of the race. So what we might do is we might just do it on board for a couple of laps. No, at least till the end of the race. I think they're lucky. But I'm sure they'll always find each other on the track. So it's just coming down here to turn 7. And this right-hander here is turn 8. And quick one, and left-hand into turn 9. And this right here is turn 10. Bit of a squirt here, and then this is turn 11. Hard on the brakes, close to the wall. Down into turn 12. Not much time to get on the gas there before you're into turn 13. And turn 14 here to get back out onto the oval. Coming down the front straight. Down, this is turn 1 here, followed by a quick corner, turn 2 here, turn 3, turn 4, little chicane here for turn 5 and 6. So that's all the turn numbers. Lots of short little punchy corners, as it looks like Maloney there is coming into the pits. So we'll jump back out here and have a little look and watch him go in. But with 17 laps to go, he is pitting. Looks to be the only car of the leaders so far that is pitting. Of course, he's done 20 laps on this set of tyres. And fuel. Looks like he is going to get tyres on this stop. So stationary time of 14.5 seconds there for Maloney. And so he'll have a full tank of fuel and 4 fresh tyres. As he's just going to come out there awkwardly beside the number 8 car. Jamie, the number 8 car, does a good job. Letting Maloney get back out in front. So after that pit stop, I see the data puts Maloney in 5th position there, 38 seconds off the lead. So we'll just watch the leaders and see if they make any moves like they're going to come into the pits or not. So we have seen a few more take us to pit road as well. We've seen Hugh Foster has come in, Skurlock has pitted as well, Pearson has pitted as well, and in terms of pit stationary time, 5.9, 5.8 and 5.0 seconds indicates that those are fuel only stops. And they have still managed to come out in front of Hedeshite, who pitted earlier. We'll just see here if either Worley or Hobson looks to come in to the pits and make a splash. Worley's not going to, Hobson's not going to. And Dyson in third position. No, he's going to keep going around as well. So even after the pit stop, you still can't separate Foster and Skurlock. Yeah, I have to agree with you there, Scott Nolan, in the chat. I believe there'll be a few cars at the front there who are fuel saving with the plan to not stop for fuel. I would say probably Jake Maloney in the 5th position is probably going to be the first car that will have made a pit. I think the top 4 will probably look at staying out and trying to make it home without a pit stop. As that's Cade Donnelly in for his pit stop. So we see the 53 and the 350 of Foster and Skurlock. They are catching up to the 21 of Martin. Jason Martin, the 21 car, has not pitted. And that is for 8th, 9th and 10th. As Jason just gets out of the way there and lets Foster and Martin, Foster and Skurlock come through. Oh. That looked all a little bit awkward there in the corner. Just sort of jump back and see, have a little look and see what happened there. So they came down the big straight here, and then I think Jason was just trying to stay out of the way of Foster and Skurlock, who were both having their own moment, trying to race each other, and poor Jason's just in the purple cars, just trying to stay out of their way, locked up on the inside. Back to live action now, we can see that Pearson in the number 9 is now passing Martin. So Jason might be another one who might be looking to no stop this. So Barry Neal is another car who most likely would probably roll the dice and go for a no-stop strategy, and he's currently sitting in 6th position there. And I've put the curse on him because he's run straight into the grass. Matthew Raymond in the 83 yellow and red car just gets out of the way there. He is a lap down compared to these two guys here. The Barry Neal in the orange car and Luke Gia in the black and purple car as Luke's trying to look to make a pass. Luke's definitely got a bit of a pace advantage over Barry at the moment. They both haven't pitted, so they could both be trying to do this no-stop strategy. Luke's still right on the back of Barry's car there. You see the front row is Barry's car glowing red there, and he's just sort of gone into a little bit too deep into that corner there. And as we see, Luke makes the pass and then immediately pulls into the pits. So he will be, getting a splash of fuel. Just rechecking back in on Maloney to see how he is going. In terms of lap time, his last lap time was a 1:28.7, which is just about a second faster than Wally's last lap time was. Wally with a 1:28.5, and then Hobson, who we've been told in the chat is fuel saving, he did a 1:29.1. So about 1.5 seconds slower than Maloney. I don't think Maloney's going to have the laps to make up the time. He may not have known about how these cars are at the moment, where the tyres don't wear out and they just go faster at the end. So he might have made the mistake of taking full tyres when he should have just taken a splash. Just rechecking in on our 53 350 battle. Yep, they're still pretty close to each other. Just under a second separating them. And then back in 13th and 14th, Cade Donnelly is catching Luke Gia in 13th position. Luke's just come out of the pits. He did a splash as well, 5.5. Just looking through the data, there's not really any close battles. Gary Wellman catching Paul Jackson for 16th position. Gary is on fresh tyres. Paul in the orange car ahead hasn't pitted. Nor has Stephen Williams in the green car in front of the orange car. So Stephen Williams in 15th and Paul Jackson in the orange car in 16th haven't pitted. Gary Wellman and Josh Mickelmore just behind them have. And grab tyres. So there's definitely a bit of a difference in strategy between cars. There's certainly a number that have gone for fuel only, and there are a number that have taken tyres and fuel. They obviously feel that they needed those tyres to help them get home. May not necessarily be a speed thing for them, but it might just be a comfort. that gap up the front has now opened out to 5 seconds, and I believe that's definitely going to be due to fuel saving from Hobson in the 88 car in second position. To give you an idea of the tyre fall off, or the lack of, we've just seen Hobson has actually just done his fastest lap of the race on the last lap, so these tyres are now 28 laps old, and he's starting to pump out fast laps because the fuel load's burnt off. So he might be in a position now where he is comfortable that he can make it home, make the 8 laps home on fuel, so he can now push and really put the hammer down. Just jumping back here to the battle for 16th and 17th. As it looks like Micklemore in the blue 31 is looking to make the pass on the orange 231 of Paul Jackson. Saw the gap close up a bit on timing data. As we see, Micklemore looking to make that pass on the front straight here now. Jackson's moved to the inside and let off the gas a little bit early before the corner. Let Josh get through there. And now Norman Clark will look to try and attack the orange car of Jackson. I think part of the issue that Jackson's going to have here is that he hasn't pitted, so he will still be saving fuel, and all the cars around him have pitted. Let's have a quick little look at something here. It's Ryder Curtis. Ryder Curtis had to pit a third time. Not sure why. Doesn't appear to be too much damage to his car. But we'll jump back to this battle here with Norman Clark looking to make a pass on Jackson. We'll actually jump up to the battle for 6th because Neil Pearson has made the move past Skurlock and is now closing up on the back of Foster, looking to make the pass for 6th. So no fuel worries for these drivers, so these drivers are just going full noise now. Can Pearson get a nice run here? He has, down the front straight. Foster's defending the inside line here. Pearson's looking to make the crossover in the red car. Can't quite get the momentum off the speed off the corner to get the pass done. This looks like it's going to be a good little battle here. Yes, indeed. It looks like Wally has pitted. He has had to come in and get a splash of fuel. 6.3 second stop for Wally for fuel. So that means that Hobson has inherited the lead with 5 laps to go. He has a 3.2 second lead to Dyson. Just keep an eye on that timing board in there. So Wally having to pit means that he's now 33 seconds down. He's good. He's still in a good position if Hobson and Dyson can't make it on fuel. As we see here now, Foster defending the inside line. Pearson's going to go in really deep. Brakes and gets the pass down on the outside there. It's a good move. Yeah, I think you're right, Lockie. From the chat, I think Maloney be kicking himself. I think he might not have known about how these cars have behaved on Road America and Sonoma, where they just haven't needed to change tyres. Because it doesn't make sense that these big heavy stock cars wouldn't need to change tyres on a road course. They don't have tyre wear. It's a bit unusual. So yeah, he'll be. But also, as you say, the fuel saving thing also dropped him. Having to pit drops him 30 seconds down anyway. So, but he is the fastest car on the track at the moment. 1:28.2 was his last lap. So he's definitely got speed to burn. So just watching my timing data, looking for some close battles down through the field. Norman Clark and Paul Jackson. Norman has made that pass on Paul for 17th. Up in the front though, there's something has happened up front as we see that the gap seems to have dropped dramatically up front. And Matthew Raymond was sideways there. Let's have a look at a replay and see if we can find out what actually happened there. Matty Ray's just hit the grass there and spun him sideways there, right in front of second spot. Dyson, who did a good job avoiding it. But Matty Ray's collected the car up and is away. And we'll jump back in here because there's definitely the gap is closing between first and second. If we have a look at our lap times, Dyson's about half a second faster than Hobson on that last previous lap. And we'll see what it does for this one just gone. Yeah, about 0.4 of a second, so almost half a second again faster. I think yeah, you're right. I think Dyson he's saved enough, and he is just going to go full noise to the end now. But the question will be has Hobson saved enough that he can sort of, once Dyson closes into like a second, Hobson can put the foot down as well. But the pace up the front's been pretty consistent and crazy. All but 8 cars have been lapped. Oh, Oh, jeez. And the 231 orange car spun right in front of Hobson as well. Is not what you need. And that has closed the gap down to a second now. Whoa. And we've got one lap to go. I think we'll stay on this battle rather than go back and have a little look at the replay of that and see what happened. But we'll see if we can have a look at that a little bit later. So we're on the final lap here, and Hobson has half a second to play with from Dyson. So come through these corners for the last time. I should remember the numbering of them. I think 8, 9, 10. I think Hobson is going to have, barring a mistake, I think Hobson's going to have enough to be able to do this. He's stretched the gap out to a second now. So he just needs to get these last few corners through correctly and not overshoot them or lock up. I think he's got one more corner to go here now. He's heading on to the oval, traditional oval part, and yep, it looks like he's done enough. He's going to hold on to that lead. And that's it. Hobson has crossed the finish line in first, and Dyson is in second. There's still a battle going on for third, I think. Jack Maloney, I don't think he's going to be able to make up 2 seconds in the last couple of corners, but Philip Worley looking just to pass the lapped car of Chahir there. Good solid run for Worley. Worley's going to come across the line now, and Maloney as well. And Darren Lobb, if he can just finish through this last corner, is going to be a good solid top 5 for Darren Lobb as well. It's good to see him get a good result. And we're hearing in the chat that Hobson coughed 100 metres past the line, so he's done a perfect job managing the fuel mileage. Still a few cars circulating out to the finish. As Pearson crosses the line, Foster and Skerlock across the line. There's still a battle on there as Josh Mickelmore gets past Stephen Williams there. Looks like Stephen Williams might have coughed as well for fuel on the line as well. So let's see if we can go back and have a look and see when Paul Jackson spun in front of the leader, Hobson. So let's see if we can find out what happened here. That doesn't look like it. We're going to find it, unfortunately. There's a couple of cases of cars spinning in front of our lead lap cars. Alright, so I'm just trying to remember everything that we're going to do now. So I guess we'll just we'll jump into our results and we'll just run through those. Give the drivers a bit more time to come into the green room and stuff. Alright, so results. First place was Brendan Hobson. Second was Andrew Dyson. Philip Worley in third. Jack Maloney fourth. Darren Lobb fifth. Neil Pearson sixth. So that makes, just having a look, 1, 2, 3, 4 DPR cars in the top 6. So they've got to be pretty happy with that result tonight. Edward Foster in 7th. Michael Skurlock in 8th. Daniel Hedeshire in 9th. Jason Martin in 10th. Luke Jahir coming home in 11th. 12th was Barry Neal. Gary Wellman in 13th. Josh Mickelmore in 14th. Stephen Williams 15th. Norma Clark. Kay Donnelly. Paul Jackson Matthew Raymond and Jamie Nankervis. Ruben Phelps in 21st, Riley Curtis in 22nd, Josh Scott's 23rd, Dave Douglas 24th, Mirko Dorknat in 25th, Justin Witcher in 26th, and No Tompkins home in 27th. Alright, let's have a little look at the green room and see if we can on here. Alright. Philip Worley, this is Matt here in the broadcast booth. How did your good result for you in third place tonight? How would you describe your race and how it went for you?
It was good. It was no, the new layout's really good at Indy, so I was happy to finally have a steer of the new layout. And tonight's race was pretty interesting. There's a couple of different strategies going on, so you didn't really know where you were sitting until it all fucking played out at the end. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that's good. And so you were obviously you had to do one pit stop for fuel. How many how many laps were you short? Do you think in the end there?
Uh it was about 2.5, three laps short. Pretty early on, we worked out that for me the number was just not achievable to get home to the end without a stop. And having a few cars at the front there, we just decided let's go with a couple of different strategies. So that's
Yeah.
how it ended up playing out.
Okay. And did you go full noise from the start, or were you sort of fuel saving and then decided to go full noise?
No, I went full noise from the start, mate. Yeah,
Yeah.
the other boys decided to save. Just that's how it played out.
Yeah. And obviously no need for tires. Tires were pretty comfortable.
No, the car just kept getting better and better and better. So I knew Maloney had quite a big gap on me when he pitted, and the only chance I had to beat him was actually not taking tyres because he did.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I didn't take tyres, and it played out. The car just kept getting better and better on the tyres.
Yeah, the car's definitely very odd at the moment on road courses where it just gets better on tyres as the fuel load burns off, which is highly unusual for a big heavy stock
Absolutely.
car. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a little bit weird.
yeah. Well, I think that's pretty much it from me. Is there anyone that you would like to give a shout out to sponsors and all that sort of thing?
Firstly, full credit to the boys. They'd be pretty angry if I didn't say that. And obviously, thanks to you guys for the broadcast and ANZCAR for the series. That's he's doing an amazing job. And I'll leave the sponsors to Daiso because there's no point saying them twice.
All right, sounds good. Perfect. All right, I'll drop you back down and I will grab up our second place finisher. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
Andrew Dyson, Matt Hunter here up in the broadcast booth.
Oh, good.
How was your race tonight?
Oh, pretty lonely for the most part, to be honest with you. But I didn't want it to be that way. I went off the road and did a bit of tire dipping a few times, not intentionally,
Yeah,
and didn't work out too well for me. At the end of the race, I think it was the difference. So kicking myself, but I mean, I wasn't expecting to get close to a win after the first 5 laps. I don't think so. It was pretty surprising.
there was a few other cars that unfortunately unintentionally tire dipped and they ended up spinning from it. So,
Oh yeah, that's definitely not cool on your tires,
well,
then, is it?
no. So obviously you made it home without a pit stop. Did you fuel save right from the outset, or did you sort of from about halfway through decide to fuel save, or how did you go work that out?
Yeah, you had to do it. You had to do it the whole time, or you just wouldn't make it. Because it wasn't like a massive fuel save, but it was significant enough that if you didn't commit to it straight away, you just weren't going to make it. Not with any sort of speed anyway. So
Yeah.
maybe I was a bit too cautious at the start. Don't know, but you learn from those things, and
Yeah.
it's all good.
Was there a point in the last sort of closing laps that you were like, cool, I'm good now, I can sort of put the foot down?
Not quite. I think more than anything, I just worked out how to drive the thing. So I was just working out, little bits and pieces, and naturally, with the way this car is too, it gets better and better and better the longer you drive it, which is completely backwards. So there is
Yeah.
that as well, and so I had to work it out during the race. But yeah,
Oh,
got there and started making some inroads, but not enough, obviously.
yeah. It's definitely a very weird thing that a big heavy stock car just doesn't wear the tyres out. It's unusual.
Yeah, it
Um,
must have the old British Michelin's. I think the Michelin's were the tyres to be on back in F1 days for the long stints. It must be
yeah.
Michelin's. Yeah.
Bit of a near the end there. I think there was a bit of a heart-stopping moment for you. I think Matty Ray hit the grass and spun in front of you, and you managed to duck down the inside and get past him clean.
Yeah. You know, at first I'm like, oh, okay, he's spinning the right way, he'll go away from me. And then right at the last second, it was like he thought, oh, I've pretty much gathered this up, I got this. And he rolled forward just a little bit, and I swear him, I'm so close to the back of my car. But you know, it was nearly worse for Brenton there. Like he had a bit of a biggie. It might have been Barry or Paul, which is not their fault. Just shit happens. But it was
Yeah.
a close call for him as well.
Yeah, we were watching that at the time, and we saw the gap sort of drop from. I think at the time it was about a 1.5 second gap or something, and then it dropped down like, to half a second because Brendan obviously had to check up for that spinning
Yeah.
car. Oh, no, that's cool. Well, I think that's about it for me. It's short and sweet interview. Uh, Usual love to sponsors and stuff because Philip Wally said that you have to take care of all the sponsors tonight. So.
Well, luckily I got them up on me dash this time, so I can't stuff it up for once. But yeah, shout out to all the boys at DPR, having a good time as always. And no matter what we're racing, it's good fun. Shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast and the league and everything, and all the other races that are on during the week. Appreciate that. It's pretty cool. And a couple of small shout outs to simrics.com, Southwell Lifts and Hoist, Ben Max Mechanical, Phoenix Smokers, and NP Designs for the liveries.
Perfect. Excellent.
Thanks, man.
All right, well, I'll drop you back down into the green room and I'll grab our race winner. Thank you.
No worries. Catch you, mate.
Bye. Brendan Hobson, this is Matt Hunter in the broadcast booth here. How was your race tonight?
Hey, yeah, it was all right. It was pretty boring to do the whole way. I would have loved to come out and just rip and set some heat and fast lap times, but I mean, it's a unique challenge. It's its own challenge to do the fuel save, and you know, in its own way, it's its own good bit of fun. But yeah, it's pretty uneventful, really. Just cruised around and hit a number for the whole race, and got there right on the number at the end. So it's interesting to go with Daiso there. He was doing a bit of a different way, like still did the fuel save, but saved up some extra and then burnt some at the end. So made it interesting, and yeah, it was good.
Yeah, we had Scott Nolan in the chat mentioning that about your fuel saving and that you coughed about 100 meters past the finish line.
Yeah, exactly. I think I was about 100 meters past the line, and it coughed. Yeah, I was running the number the whole race, like every lap, so I knew that if I kept doing the speed I was doing, I'd run out right on the line. So it's a bit hard to guess where exactly they're going to cough, like how many mils or whatever left of fuel before they start to cough. But yeah, I knew I'd be there or thereabouts, and it's just part of the art form with fuel saving is just knowing that sort of stuff and understanding where you need to be and what numbers you need to hit and how to get them, and and still do it with generating lap time. It's a challenge, but yeah, no, it was good. It was a good one.
Excellent. Bit of a bit of a freaky moment near the end there, where I think the 231 had a bit of an incident in front of you, and you had to sort of check up there. We didn't really get a good, clear look at it. Was it pretty close for you? Close call?
Is that with Paul on the second last lap? Yeah. It was, wow, it was more than close. I went straight through him.
Oh wow.
he barreled off the road, and I actually kind of thought he must have been running out there to let us go. And even though we're fuel saving, we're still, especially under brakes, you're 100% committed down in under brakes because you have to be as fast as you can in the braking zone. So we're lifting out early, but then we're really deep under brakes when we're saving fuel. So I was fully committed down into the corner, and he just drove straight back out on the track in front of me, sideways across the racing line. And I had no chance of stopping and not hitting him. And I let him know I wasn't happy about it. He reckons it was my fault, but I mean, I'm racing for the lead, and I'm not expecting a lap car to drive out on the road in front of me. So I put that squarely on him, to be honest. But I was lucky it did damage the car. I'd seemed to be fine on that last lap. I set my best lap of the race, because Daiso had sort of made up a bit of ground from that. So had to put in a bit of a better lap there on the last lap, and the car felt fine. So we're very lucky. They're obviously pretty robust, these things, which is pretty fortunate. We hit him square on, which is, I think, part of the key, because we've seen plenty of it. If you hit something on the side, it'll bend up and rip off the wheels and stuff. So
yeah,
just lucky, I think. You look at it either way. I think I was very unlucky that happened, but we're very lucky to get away with it when it did. It's disappointing though. I had a perfectly clean race up till then, and that was the only drama I had for the whole thing. So gave us a bit of something to think about with 1 lap to go. That's for sure.
Yeah, I've just managed to dig back and find the replay of it. Yeah, I can see you a good straight clean hit onto the side there, and as you say, hit him pretty square on the nose. We were watching sort of at the time, the time between you and Dyson at that moment, and yeah, I think your gap was about 1.5 to 2 seconds, and all of a sudden it dropped down to half a second. So,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
so yeah, no, we just sort of had a little look at that replay, and definitely very lucky to get away with that one. That's for sure. Excellent, excellent. Oh, I think that pretty much covers it. Did you want to give a shout out to all your fans and all your sponsors and the like?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, just a shout out to the guys on the team, SSR, a really good team, a really good bunch of people. And I didn't have J Russ here tonight, but it was still good fun. And obviously, we work along with the guys over at Mitch Motorsports too. I was hanging out with them tonight, and it's always good fun. Shout out to the sponsors on the car, Smith & Sons in particular again tonight, the green Smith & Sons livery, and Wave Runner Performance Centre, DGD Custom, and all the rest of them that are on there that help make the wheels go round. And obviously shout out to everyone involved at the league that makes it run, and all the guys for coming out and having a race tonight, and of course yourself for putting on a broadcast. I hope you didn't have to do the broadcast and the commentary all by yourself all night.
Oh yeah. No, I had to do it all by myself tonight, and I got a head cold as well, so it's been fun.
The worst. Well, a big thanks to you for bearing with it and putting on a show tonight.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, I don't say it's going to be the most terribly interesting commentary to listen back to, but yeah, so hopefully I won't be flying solo too many times. But no, it's good. It's good to it's always fun to watching good races and good strategies and stuff like the fuel saving. It definitely makes it interesting to watch. So yeah. Excellent. All right. Well, I will drop back down into the green room and yeah, enjoy the rest of your night.
Cheers. Thanks, mate.
No worries. Cool, and there we have it, our interview with our top three there. As we saw in the replay there, we can see the hit that he was talking about there, right near the end. We can see here, he's come around the corner here, and unfortunately the 231's come out. And yeah, he sort of hit him directly in the side there, and it hasn't done too much damage, maybe a little bit of damage to the left front of the nose there of Hobson's car, but that was the incident that closed up that gap there. So yeah, that is all in all a pretty good race. A few different strategies and stuff going on there with the no stoppers and the like. So what we might do is we'll just quickly chuck up the graphic for next week and show you what next week's race is going to be. So next week's race is going to be 150 laps at Richmond on the 4th of August, and that will be race 23 of the 36. Keep in mind that after 26 races, we reset the field and go into a 10 race chase. So that'll be, yeah, the desperation to make sure you get into that top 10 should be ramping up now with those cars around that top 10 mark, looking to make it in. But yeah, I think that just about covers everything for tonight. I might sign off there. So my name is Matt Hunter, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your night.